안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 2025년 4월 16일 녹화 강의에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 오늘의 주제는 기적수업과 기독교의 대화, 세상을 바라보는 두 가지 관점입니다. 그럼 오늘의 동영상을 시작해 보도록 하겠습니다.
We've had several conversations like this over the last few years, and the latest conversation was focused on the creation of the physical universe. My friend is a devout Christian, and so the conversations that we've had, including the beginning of the latest conversation, was always focused on the differences between A Course in Miracles and Christianity. The main focus for these conversations, for me as well, was to prove the other person wrong. So I would listen only to hear the pinpoints, all the evidence that I could catch to create an argument against everything that was said by my friend. Result of these conversations ultimately was a feeling of, it wasn't anything positive, I'll put it that way. We weren't aggressive about it. We weren't arguing. We tried to agree to disagree, acknowledge the fact that there is a fundamental difference. I would always tell my friend, if what you have discovered is true for you and it is helpful to you, then by all means, you have all the freedom to believe what you would like to believe in, as I have all the freedom to believe in what I believe in. And we would just say, hey, that's it. We can leave it at that. We don't need to go into it any further. It would only cause further back and forth exchange of disagreements. But this time, what I found fruitful was something that my friend said. According to the Bible, as we all know, what we see in this world, especially the natural world, the mountains, the rivers, the oceans, and everything else that was made from that, the ultimate source of all that is God. That's where the fundamental difference comes in, but this time I wanted to focus more on what I can do to see something common between my friend and I when it came to these points of view, how we view the world. Initially, I did point out that, according to A Course in Miracles, the world was not created by God, but by the ego. And the ego is the part of the one mind that wanted to separate from its source, separate from God. So it created an illusion that we call the physical universe to dream of a state of being separate from our source. What I found interesting about what my friend said when the friend said that in nature, they see the beauty of God's creations. They see the power of God. I began to think that it is a miscreation, it is an illusion, but it does reflect what we are capable of as God's offsprings. So when you see beauty in the world, as A Course in Miracles states, that you can still see reflections of God's love. You don't need to see signs of separation in the world, despite the world inherently being a place that allows separation. There are two ways of looking at this world. You can either see evidence of separation and something that we need to get out of as quick as possible, or we can choose to see it as a place that shows the potential of what we are truly capable of as offsprings of God. Even though A Course in Miracles says that this is not our home, this is all an illusion, it does not say that we should deny all of this. It always emphasizes practicality in everything that we do. We don't need to go out of our way to ignore what we sense with our five senses. There was a common ground that I noticed that I didn't notice before between Christianity and A Course in Miracles, and that was the intention, the willingness that was present before the creation or the miscreation of the physical universe. Whether it is believed to have been created by God or believed to have been created by the ego, in its most basic essence, it was either created or miscreated with the intention to create a home. Because the intention itself is common, we can redirect that intention for peace and for love. A Course in Miracles says universal theology is impossible, and that is also the reason why A Course in Miracles is called A Course in Miracles, not The Course in Miracles, because it acknowledges that there are many ways to realize who we are, where our home is, and who or what our source is. We don't need to emphasize the differences. We don't need to join that game. And I've made that mistake from time to time again, focusing so much on the desire to be right, desire to be the one that speaks the truth rather than to live and experience the truth. What was amazing for me about this conversation that I had with my friend was that I chose to listen with the intent to find peace for both of us, not just for myself, not just to settle some kind of an argument in my favor, just to listen and remember what the purpose of this conversation is. And when I started seeing things that way, I saw another being that was very driven to find truth, whatever version of that truth may be for that particular person. I saw that same desire for peace and love that resides in my heart as well. And when I saw that common ground, I was able to let go of the desire to argue against what my friend was saying. I wanted to just listen and just focus on what we both want in this situation. The name of the point of view no longer mattered. The differences no longer mattered. And when I saw that, I was able to finally let go and just tell my friend, thank you. And I was very grateful for the conversation.
Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.